Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Afrikaans ebook before it's gone. When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, You can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Welcome to AfrikaansPod101.com's Afrikaans in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Afrikaans. Hallo, ek is Anne-Marie. Aangename kennis. Hi, I'm Anne-Marie. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Afrikaans expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Afrikaans. We'll start speaking right away, but first it's important to clarify that in Afrikaans, there are different greetings depending on the situation. Let's first see how Afrikaners introduce themselves in a casual situation. Hallo, ek is Anne-Marie. Aangename kennis. Hi, I'm Anne-Marie. Nice to meet you. Hallo, ek is Anne-Marie. Aangename kennis. Start by saying, Hallo, ek is, then say your name. For example, Hallo, ek is Anne-Marie. Finally, say aangename kennis. Again, all together, it is, Hallo, ek is Anne-Marie. Aangename kennis. Now, let's see that same sentence in a more formal context. Goeiedag, ek is Anne-Marie Luck. Aangename kennis. Good day, I am Anne-Marie Luck. Pleasure to meet you. Goeiedag, ek is Anne-Marie Luck. Aangename kennis. Let's try that again. G. Try pronouncing it from the back of your throat. Goeiedag, goeiedag, ek is Anne-Marie Luck. Aangename kennis. So, what has actually changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a closer look at these expressions together. Hallo has been substituted with the formal greeting goeiedag, which is Afrikaans for good day. Ek is Anne-Marie has not been changed. Ek is simply means I am. However, during a formal self-introduction, we also say our last name. So I said Anne-Marie Luck. Here, you would say your full name. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in Afrikaans is Hallo, ek is Anne-Marie. Aangename kennis. The more formal way to introduce yourself is Goeiedag, ek is Anne-Marie Luck. Aangename kennis. Now it's time for Anne-Marie's tips. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands, usually with a short but firm handshake. If you're not sure whether to use hallo or goeiedag, just say hallo, as this expression can be used in all introductions. If you use the correct sentence with a friendly smile and a good handshake, Afrikaners will definitely be impressed. That's it for this lesson. Do you know how we say thank you in Afrikaans? You'll learn how to say this and many other words in the next Afrikaans in 3 minuten lesson. Lekker dag! Hello allemaal, ek is Anne-Marie. Hi everybody, I'm Anne-Marie. Welcome to AfrikaansPod101.com's Afrikaans in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Afrikaans. In the previous lesson, you learned how to introduce yourself in Afrikaans. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to thank people. Remember, good manners are important. Are you ready? Let's start. Saying thank you in Afrikaans is very easy. It's just one word, dankie. Dankie. To say thank you very much, you just need to add baie, meaning a lot, at the beginning. Baie dankie. Baie dankie. What if someone says dankie to you? How do you answer? It's easy. Here is the most common response. Dit is 'n plesier. Dit is 'n plesier. Dit is 'n plesier can be used with just about anybody. Literally, this phrase means happily done or I did it with pleasure. So when someone says dankie to you, you can simply reply with dit is 'n plesier. Now it's time for Anne-Marie's tips. If you're not sure about whether to use dankie or baie dankie, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. Just say dankie. You don't have to worry about saying the long version. The difference between the two depends only on how grateful you are or how much someone has helped you. Do you know what tot ziens means? I'll be waiting to tell you about it in the next Afrikaans in 3 minuten lesson. Lekker dag! Hallo allemaal, ek is Anne-Marie. Hi everybody, I'm Anne-Marie. Welcome to AfrikaansPod101.com's Afrikaans in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Afrikaans. In the last lesson, you learned how to thank people by saying dankie. In this lesson, you'll learn some of the most common greetings used when speaking Afrikaans. Is jy reg? Are you ready? Let's start. The most commonly used informal greeting is hallo. Hallo. Hallo means hi or hello. We can use this greeting with friends or relatives. Hallo. The most used formal greetings changes depending on the time of day. Let's see what they are. First we have goeiedag. Literally, goeiedag means good day. Goeiedag. As a rule of thumb, we can use goeiedag only during the daytime from late morning until early evening. Next is the greeting we say only for the morning. Goeiemôre. Goeiemôre. For the afternoon, we say goeiemiddag. Goeiemiddag. During the evening, we say goeienaand. Goeienaand. Goed is Afrikaans for good. Môre, middag, and naand means morning, afternoon, and evening, respectively. Easy, right? Now, what should you say when you leave? Afrikaners usually say tot ziens when leaving in a formal situation. Tot ziens. Tot ziens means goodbye. When we say goodbye to friends or relatives, we use the informal lekker dag. Lekker dag. You can also say bye. Bye. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Afrikaans. Let's review them all again. First, the greetings. Informally, we simply say hallo. If you want to be a bit more formal, you can use goeiedag during the daytime, goeiemôre in the morning, goeiemiddag in the afternoon, and goeienaand in the evening. When leaving in a formal situation, we say tot ziens. And in an informal situation, it's lekker dag or bye. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Anne-Marie's tips. In informal situations, Afrikaners, especially good friends, commonly greet each other by giving each other a quick hug. If you're unsure, you can just stick out your hand and give a firm handshake and a smile. A smile goes a long way. During the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase praat jy Engels. Do you already know it? I'll tell you all about it in our next Afrikaans in 3 minuten lesson. Lekker dag! Hallo allemaal, ek is Anne-Marie. Hi everybody, I'm Anne-Marie. Welcome to AfrikaansPod101.com's Afrikaans in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Afrikaans. In the previous lesson, you learned the most common forms of greetings in Afrikaans. Do you remember them? In this lesson, you're going to learn a very useful phrase, do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Afrikaans, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if their answer is no. Here's the informal way to say it. Praat jy Engels? Praat jy Engels? Here, praat is the verb to speak, jy is the informal way of saying you, and as you might have recognized, Engels means English. Praat jy Engels? Do you speak English? Now let's make this sentence formal, as you'd probably be asking a stranger this question. It's very easy though, so don't worry. You only need to use the formal version of you, which is u. So, praat jy Engels becomes praat u Engels. Praat u Engels? Adding skus toch, meaning excuse me, to the beginning makes the sentence even more polite. Skus toch, praat u Engels? Skus toch, praat u Engels? Can you say it? Skus toch. Make the g sound using the back of your throat. G. Skus toch. Skus toch. Praat u Engels? Now, the responses you will receive could be one of these three. Ja, yes. Ja. A bietjie, a little. A bietjie. Nee, ek praat nie Engels nie. No, I don't speak English. Nee, ek praat nie Engels nie. Because this last response is a negative statement, you can find the word nie used twice as Afrikaans uses a double negative pattern when saying negative sentences. Ek praat nie Engels nie. Now it's time for Anne-Marie's tips. For those of you who are not only English speakers, you can use this question with any language you need. South African people study other languages at school, so maybe you'll get lucky. Just substitute Engels with Italiaans for Italian, Duits for German, Spaans for Spanish, Franse for French, and so on. In this lesson, we mentioned the expression skus toch. In the next lesson, you will learn more about this word and other ways to get someone's attention and apologize in Afrikaans. I'll see you in the next Afrikaans in 3 minuten lesson. Lekker dag! Hello Amal, ek is Anne-Marie. Hi everybody, I'm Anne-Marie. Welcome to AfrikaansPod101.com's Afrikaans in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Afrikaans. In the last lesson, you learned the phrase praat u Engels, which means do you speak English? We also mentioned the word skus toch, which means excuse me. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to use this expression and other phrases as well when apologizing in Afrikaans. We use skus toch in formal situations, such as when we are ordering something in bars or restaurants. For example, skus toch een koffie asseblief? Excuse me, a coffee please? We can also use it when asking a question. Skus toch, waar is die uitgang? Excuse me, where is the exit? Here are some other words you can use for saying excuse me. Excuse. You can use this to get somebody's attention in a formal situation. Excuse. In informal situations, the way to say excuse me is just sorry. Sorry. All three words, skus toch, excuse, and sorry, can be used when trying to get someone's attention or when apologizing. However, you might want to use a different phrase to apologize if you really want to sound sincere. That phrase is ek is jammer. It means I am sorry and can be used in both formal and informal situations. Ek is jammer. First we have ek is, which means I am. Then we say the Afrikaans word for sorry, jammer. Ek is jammer. Now it's time for Anne-Marie's tips. There's one big reason that you should know how to say I'm sorry in Afrikaans. South Africans love the fact that someone is making an effort by trying to communicate in Afrikaans. But if you apologize in Afrikaans, they will say, "Dit is okay," which means it's okay. Are you able to count in Afrikaans? In the next lesson, we will learn the numbers in Afrikaans from 1 to 10. I'll see you in the next Afrikaans in 3 minute lesson. Lekker dag!
Hello, it's me again, Christine. We're here today in the lesson, the top 25 Afrikaans phrases. So they're obviously the ones that you definitely want to know if you want to know Afrikaans. They're super simple, most of them, and easy to learn, the ones that everyone always learns these words in all the different languages. So let's get started.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Pretty straightforward. It's a greeting. It's what you say to everyone. It sounds the same as most languages, so it's pretty an easy one to remember.
Goeiemôre. Goeiemôre. Good morning.
Goeiemôre. Good morning. So this one's a little bit hard because it's got the ch sound, but in the morning we're all feeling ugh anyway, so it's a great time to use this. Practice it next time you wake up in the morning and say hello to whoever you see the first thing in the morning and just say Goeiemôre.
Goeiemiddag. Goeiemiddag. Good afternoon.
Goeiemiddag. Good afternoon. So it's very similar to Goeiemôre. This time you're changing the second word to middag, adding an extra in there because now by middag time the day's hard and all you want is some lunch, so you're adding mochs in there and just saying goeiemiddag as if it's angry, but try say it with a smile and then it's even nicer. Goeiemiddag.
Goeienacht. Goeienacht. Good night.
Goeienacht. Good night. So that's what you say before you go to bed, obviously. And by now, you're thinking of the dreams that you might have tonight or the comfy warm bed that you're going to in a cold winter's day. Not like today, obviously, but it's something that everyone wants to hear. It's nice to say it to the people around you before going to bed, like end your day on a nice, calm note by telling everyone around you, Goeienacht.
Wat is jou naam? Wat is jou naam? What is your name?
Wat is jou naam? What's your name? So this is obviously the one that you want to know when you're going out in a new place, especially in South Africa or anywhere where you know there's Afrikaans people and you want to know who they are, know more about them. So it's always an easy icebreaker. Wat is jou naam? Get to know their name. Try think of a way that you'll remember it by making up little anagrams in your head or whatever. It's what I usually do because I'm very bad at remembering names. But definitely a useful phrase to know.
Ek is Christine. Ek is Christine. I'm Christine.
And then if they ask you that question or if you've just asked that question, the likely response is Ek is naam. I am name. So you'd insert your name, obviously. You wouldn't say Ek is naam. You would say, I would say, Ek is Christine. I am Christine. So pretty simple response. Wat is jou naam? Ek is, and then say your name. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Aangename kennis. Aangename kennis. Nice to meet you.
Aangename kennis. Aangename kennis. Nice to meet you. So now you've said hello, you said goeiemôre, goeiemiddag, goeienacht, whatever time of day it is. You've asked them what their name is, you've told them what your name is, so now you're saying it's nice to meet you. Aangename kennis. It's a simple conversation going on here, so it's very important to know all these little phrases.
Hoe gaan dit met jou? Hoe gaan dit met jou? How are you?
Hoe gaan dit met jou? How are you? So now in the conversation, you're at that part where you've realized that they have a cool name, they seem pretty cool, and you want to know a little bit more about them. So you ask them, hoe gaan dit? And then remember to listen, because people always say this and then don't listen to the response or don't really care about the response. Only ask these things if you care, because it's way nicer that way.
Goed, dankie. En met jou? Goed, dankie. En met jou? I'm fine, thanks. And you?
And then the typical response, or hopefully the response because it's positive, goed, dankie, en met jou. Goed, dankie, en met jou. I'm fine, thanks. And you? So that obviously follows the previous one, answering how you are doing and then asking back to the person, because that's only polite. You don't want to be like, yeah, I'm fine, thanks, bye. You want to be polite, ask them how they're doing back if they asked it first. Otherwise, maybe don't say it if you asked it first, because then it's just like a continuous cycle that's never ending.
Asseblief. Asseblief. Please.
Asseblief. Please. Very popular in South Africa because we're all very polite people here. But please remember, see, I said it there again. Please remember to be polite when you're asking for something or commenting on something that requires a please. No, it'll be a question. So be polite, remember your manners, and say asseblief if you are looking for something.
Dankie. Dankie. Thank you.
Dankie. Thank you. So there we go again with the politeness. Be very kind and warm when someone tells you something or compliments you or gives you an answer to that asseblief question that you just asked. Say thanks. Say dankie. And if you can't remember the word, think of a donkey. That's how I always used to tell people. And then just change the sound a little bit, because you can't say donkey. You must say dankie.
Jy is welkom. Jy is welkom. You're welcome.
Jy is welkom. You're welcome. So that's the response. If someone said dankie to you, you're obviously going to say you're welcome. Jy is welkom. Because it wasn't such a schlep for you to tell them what they wanted and you don't mind telling them. So, jy is welkom.
Ja. Ja. Yes.
Ja. Yes. Pretty straightforward. Yes. Positive response to something. So, pretty easy.
Nee. Nee. No.
Nee. No. Also pretty straightforward, but try not to use it so much because it's going to be a downer on anyone, unless it's something definitely that needs a no for a response. But ja and nee, pretty easygoing, used quite often, so good ones to remember.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. It's very simple because it's the same as the English and most other languages, just like I said, hello. Okay means, yeah, sure, okay, we'll do this, or okay, I'll have that for lunch, or okay, you make the plans. It's used every day in so many different ways, so it's easy to remember, okay.
Verskoon my. Verskoon my. Excuse me.
Verskoon my. Excuse me. This is a part of that politeness again. If you are leaving the table or you're walking away from something because you don't really like the conversation going on, you just politely say, verskoon my. Asseblief as well if you want to be even more nice, even nicer.
Ek is jammer. Ek is jammer. I'm sorry.
Ek is jammer. I'm sorry. So unfortunately this one means you've done something wrong or you've said something that's not so polite. But just be a human being and say sorry if a sorry is needed. And then remember, ek is jammer.
Hoe laat is dit? Hoe laat is dit? What time is it?
Hoe laat is dit? What's the time? This is funny. The translation isn't exactly what's the time, but that's how we say it here in South Africa. You literally say, how late is it? Because you're always late for something, or you're always thinking it's later than it is. So try to remember it that way. We're always late, so that's why we say, hoe laat is dit? Like, how late is it?
Waar is die badkamer? Waar is die badkamer? Where is the restroom?
Waar is die badkamer? Where is the restroom? This one you'll probably use when you're out at the restaurants or at a random friend's house that you've never been to before and you really need a wee. So you're going to be needing this one. So remember, waar is die badkamer?
Wag 'n bietjie. Wag 'n bietjie. Wait a moment.
Wag 'n bietjie. Wait a moment. You're a little bit busy in a conversation and someone comes and chirps in and all you want to say is just hold on. So if you ever in these situations and you have friends that like to interrupt you, then maybe you should learn wag 'n bietjie. And you could always add asseblief as well if you don't want to sound too rude and like cut offy. You can say wag 'n bietjie, asseblief.
Hoeveel kos dit? Hoeveel kos dit? How much is this?
Hoeveel kost dit? How much is this? Now you're in the shop. So you've been to the restaurants, you've been to friends' house, you've been everywhere, and now you're in the shops and you're seeing this beautiful new thing that you really want to buy. But, you know, you're on holiday, so you can't just be splurging money everywhere. So you're going to have to ask this question quite often. Hoeveel kost dit?
Help. Help. Help.
Help. Help. Luckily, this word, because it has so much going on and it's obviously urgent, is usually the same in most languages. So it's pretty straightforward if you know English. Help, it sounds the same in Afrikaans and is used in the same way.
Sien jou later. Sien jou later. See you later.
Sien jou later. See you later. You finish at the restaurant, you're going home, or at the shops or whatever, and you're saying, ciao, I'm going to see you later. Sien jou later. Obviously one to use all the time, comes alongside a goodbye. So remember, sien jou later. And maybe I'll sien jou later in some of the other videos.
Tot ziens. Tot ziens. Goodbye.
Tot ziens. Goodbye. Directly translated, tot ziens means until I see you again, which is quite nice because you're always assuming that a goodbye isn't a bad bye and you will reconnect again at some point. So tot ziens means until next time, but it actually means goodbye.
Ek weet nie. Ek weet nie. I don't know.
Ek weet nie. I don't know. It's okay to not know. We don't all know everything, so this is a good one to know. If someone asks you a question or asks you directions and you don't know because you're just a tourist here, remember to say, ek weet nie. I use this all the time and it irritates my friends, but I'm honest at least, so ek weet nie. So we've reached the end of today's lesson of the top 25 phrases in Afrikaans. I hope they're useful for you because they should be. We use them all the time, and I hope they're simple enough for you to remember. And good luck using them. I hope you meet loads of new people when you come to South Africa or speak to South Africans. And let me know in the comments down below if you have, or if they've helped you, or if you're struggling with any of the pronunciations or something like that. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and keep learning Afrikaans on afrikaanspod101.com.
Hello Amal, ek is Anne-Marie. Hi everybody, I'm Anne-Marie. Welcome to afrikaanspod101.com's Afrikaans in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Afrikaans. In the last lesson, we learned some phrases used when apologizing in Afrikaans, including ek is jammer and sorry. In this lesson, we are going to learn numbers in Afrikaans. Yes, numbers, nommers, and you are going to learn them in only 3 minutes. 3 minuten. Are you ready? Let's start. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Okay, now repeat after me. I'll say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job! What is before 1, do you know? The Afrikaans word for 0 is nul. Nul. Now you don't have any more excuses. You can give your friends your cell phone number in Afrikaans. Let's try it together. We'll use the phrase my nommer is, which means my number is. My nommer is. My nommer is 0892135874. Can you read it by yourself? 0892135874. Perfect! Now it's time for Anne-Marie's tips. When we travel in South Africa, we sometimes have to read our ticket number to the travel agent. Learn your numbers well so you can impress them. This will also help if you need to listen to numbers being announced, like in the airport. Do you know the Afrikaans word for 100? Here's a hint. It's very similar to the English word. In the next lesson, we are going to learn the numbers from 11 to 100 in Afrikaans. Your task now is to practice the numbers we studied in this lesson, from 1 to 10. Lekker dag!
Hi guys, it's me Christine. Welcome to AfrikaansPod101.com, and today's lesson is 10 phrases to amaze native speakers. So these are the ones that, like obviously you've been practicing your Afrikaans on the natives and they're like, wow, you're actually really good at Afrikaans. And then you pull these guys out the bag and they're like, whoa, where did they learn Afrikaans? And then you have to tell them AfrikaansPod101.com. But yeah, so let's get started. Dankie, maar ek is eintlik nie 'n moedertaalspreker nie. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. Dankie, maar ek is eintlik nie 'n moedertaalspreker nie. Dankie, maar ek is eintlik nie 'n moedertaalspreker nie. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. So that's the perfect one because it's a little bit of a contradiction. You're going like, I'm not a mother language person, but you're saying it in such good Afrikaans that they're like, but is she not, is he not, what? So it's always a good one to remember, especially if you want to just like back chat a compliment, because we're all a little bit awkward when people give us compliments. So it's a great one to learn. Dit het my net 1 jaar gevat om vlot te praat. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. Dit het my net 1 jaar gevat om vlot te praat. Dit het my net 1 jaar gevat om vlot te praat. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. Well, if that's the case, then congratulations, because it's actually really hard to become fluent in a language, especially if we haven't been learning since we were very little. And people always say it takes much longer to learn a language when you're a bit older. But I guess if you immerse yourself in the country, in the language, and you go stay there and only speak that to the locals and see how they react to you, it could only take a year. And if that's you, congratulations, it's really well done. Ek sal Afrikaans soos mense wat Afrikaans as moedertaal praat in 3 jaar kan praat. I'll speak Afrikaans like a native speaker in 3 years. Ek sal Afrikaans soos mense wat Afrikaans as moedertaal praat in 3 jaar kan praat. Ek sal Afrikaans soos mense wat Afrikaans as moedertaal praat in 3 jaar kan praat. I'll speak Afrikaans like a native in 3 years. So like I just said, if it didn't take you a year, don't worry, you're quite normal. If it takes you 3 years, even that's quite great to sound like a native speaker. But the point is that there's no timeline for learning a language, because I believe that you'll always continue learning. Even I'm fluent in Afrikaans, but that doesn't mean I'm still learning every day. There's always words think about your own language, your mother tongue, and think about the last time you learned a new word. And then if you can't remember it, why don't you just go into a dictionary and just open the page randomly and find a word? And I bet you'll find at least one word that you haven't known before. So even if you can speak it like a native in 3 years or be fluent in 1 year, don't stop. Just keep learning, because we can always just keep going up.
Ek leer al Afrikaans vir 10 jaar. I've been learning Afrikaans for 10 years.
Ek leer al Afrikaans vir 10 jaar. Ek leer al Afrikaans vir 10 jaar. I've been learning Afrikaans for 10 years. Well, there we go. Even longer. I mean, like I just said, it takes a lifetime to really fully understand a language usually. And I don't actually believe anyone really does. So if you just keep going, persevering, and keep improving every day, just learn new vocabulary, watch a movie in the language, and try pick up on different sayings or little colloquialisms. If it takes you 1 year, 3 years, or if you've been learning for 10 jaar, great, keep going. I'm loving the perseverance.
Ek kan Afrikaanse flieks kyk sonder onderskrifte. I can watch Afrikaans movies without subtitles.
Ek kan Afrikaanse flieks kyk sonder onderskrifte. Ek kan Afrikaanse flieks kyk sonder onderskrifte. I can watch Afrikaans movies without subtitles. Well, that's really, really impressive. I remember the first time I learned a foreign language and I watched a movie in the language, and I always had to read the subtitles to really understand what was going on. And then this one time there was no subtitles, but I really wanted to watch the movie. So I was like, oh, okay, Christine, just do it, just watch it. And I could kind of follow it and like catch the gist of the scenes. And I was like, wow, I've made it. So if you can watch an Afrikaans movie without onderskrifte, congratulations. Let us know in the comments so we can all congratulate you. Well done.
Ek kan omtrent 50 woorde in Afrikaans 'n dag memoriseer. I can memorize around 50 new Afrikaans words a day.
Ek kan omtrent 50 woorde in Afrikaans 'n dag memoriseer. Ek kan omtrent 50 woorde in Afrikaans 'n dag memoriseer. I can memorize around 50 new Afrikaans words a day. Well, then you're a genius. Like, that's a lot of words. If you can do that, maybe change the number if you want to remember the sentence for a friend. Or if you're hanging out with some local Afrikaans speaking people and you want to just impress them a little bit, like, go for it. But 50 is quite a lot, and it probably takes a lot of practicing. But if you can do that, that's awesome. Like I said before, it's really great if you can learn new vocabulary every day and then also try to use them in the next day's speech. Like memoriseer. It's a nice word to say. I like it a lot. So I'm going to try say it a lot today and probably annoy the people around me. But like doing that is quite fun, because then the people around you also start remembering that word and they can help you learn even faster.
Ek leer Afrikaans op my eie. I'm learning Afrikaans all by myself.
Ek leer Afrikaans op my eie. Ek leer Afrikaans op my eie. I'm learning Afrikaans all by myself. Oh, well, congratulations. It's really good. I mean, if you're learning Afrikaans all by yourself, it means you're really, really motivated, which is obviously awesome. And you can't really say that because you're learning it with us, afrikaanspod101.com. So even if you're learning it op jou eie, it's really great, but try find a little community where you know other people who are doing it as well, because that way you can practice with them, share stories, share experiences. I mean, it's always really nice when you're really struggling to pronounce a word or something, and then someone else comes and they're like, oh, I could never pronounce this word, but then I found out that you can just do this and whatever with your mouth, and voila, now they can say it. So it's always nice to learn little tips from other people. But if you are learning op jou eie on your own, it's okay. Like, it's really great just learning in the first place. So enjoy.
Ek verstaan alles wat jy gesê het. I completely understood everything you said.
Ek verstaan alles wat jy gesê het. Ek verstaan alles wat jy gesê het. I completely understood everything you said. This is the best one to learn out of all of these. If you pinpoint this one and remember it, it's such a great one. It makes you have such a little internal giggle sometimes. It's such a nice thing when you know a language that the people around you don't know, but your friends with you do know, and you can like gossip a little bit, or you can be like, oh, let's do this tonight or whatever, and everyone around you doesn't know what you're saying. But the funniest thing is when someone else is doing that about you, but you can understand their language, and then you just look at them and you go, Ek verstaan alles wat jy gesê het. And then they'll be like, sorry, like, we didn't mean to gossip, we didn't mean to say that your shoes aren't that great, or that your hair is looking a bit funny, or whatever, I don't know, whatever they were saying. Saying that, back-chatting that way in their own language will give them a little bit of a shock and hopefully not make them say bad things about other people. Which is not what I meant when I said it's good to know the language that other people don't know. I just meant like it's fun to play tricks on your friends and stuff, but it's not nice to say bad things. So don't do that. But come back with that if people do that.
Ek kan dit in Afrikaans vertaal. I can translate that in Afrikaans.
Ek kan dit in Afrikaans vertaal. Ek kan dit in Afrikaans vertaal. I can translate that in Afrikaans. This one's also super useful. I mean, if you're in South Africa or any other language any other country where they speak Afrikaans, it's such a nice thing. Say now you're on an airport and there's someone that really doesn't understand English or another language that you possibly do understand. You can just, step in, give a little helping hand, even to a stranger, and just be like, Ek kan dit in Afrikaans vertaal, and translate it to them in Afrikaans so that they can make their day a bit nicer, their journey a bit easier, and you just feel great because you've done something, you've used your Afrikaans in a positive way, and you've practiced a little bit with a local and helped them. So, yeah.
Ek is mal oor Afrikaans. I'm crazy about Afrikaans.
Ek is mal oor Afrikaans. Ek is mal oor Afrikaans. I'm crazy about Afrikaans. This is such a fun one because when you are practicing and you say to your Afrikaans friends like, I have been learning a little bit of Afrikaans, this is what I can say so far, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, but that's really weird. Why did you decide to do Afrikaans? And you can be like, because ek is mal oor Afrikaans. And they'll be like, oh, ha, 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 that's very funny that you can answer back in Afrikaans. And they'll be very impressed with you. Not just because you can answer them back in Afrikaans, but also because you are crazy about their language. Who doesn't love to hear that? So we've reached the end of today's lesson, 10 ways to impress native speakers. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm Christine with AfrikaansPod101.com. Let us know in the comments below how you felt or any experiences that you've had. Subscribe and like our channel and keep learning Afrikaans.
Want to transform your driving time into language learning time? How much time do you spend in your car every day? 30 minutes? More than an hour? Why not put this huge amount of time to good use? Instead of just listening to the radio during your daily commute, you could be learning a new language instead. Here are 3 easy methods for learning a language in your car. You can put them to use right away with the help of our language learning program. First, you can listen to fun audio lessons by real teachers. Listening to lessons while in the car allows you to focus on the road as you listen and learn. In every one of our 3 to 15-minute lessons, our teachers teach you conversations, new phrases, and cultural points. Audio is the only learning medium that lets you learn and drive safely at the same time, so take advantage of all our audio lessons available. Second, you can set your lessons on autoplay and go hands-free. Our autoplay feature lets you keep your hands on the wheel without even reaching for your device. Just set your lessons to autoplay one by one with our innovative Language 101 app, and never have to interrupt your focus on driving to switch to a new lesson. Third, you can repeat out loud and speak from your very first lesson. You want to speak a new language too, right? Well, you'll start learning conversations minutes into your lessons. All you have to do is listen and repeat out loud. Our teachers take you step by step through all of the words, phrases, translations, and grammar points. You're even prompted to speak out loud and repeat. The result? You understand it all and can speak your new language. Turn your commute into language learning time and have fun at the same time. Learning doesn't have to be a big commitment, like signing up for a college class. It can be fun and easy. In fact, it's as easy as pressing play. Our language learning programs will do the work for you. And with the exposure you get while driving on your daily commute, you'll be speaking and understanding real-life language quickly. The best part? You can finally learn without even changing your schedule. So if you're ready to finally learn a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Afrikaans ebook before it's gone.